Get access to exclusive tutorials and take your paracord weaving to the next level by supporting this channel on Patreon. Link in the video and description below. Hey, what's up guys? Tim here again. In today's video, we're learning how to make a Paracord Mjolnir or Paracord Thor's hammer. So this is definitely made to look like Thor's hammer from, the Marvel Universe, and yeah, it looks pretty great. So that's what we're doing today. Awesome little keychain, key fob, whatever you want to call it. You can hook your keys to the key ring here, and I love the way this one turned out, so I hope you guys will like it. So remember guys, if you're looking for where to get paracord and all the materials I used in this video, feel free to check out those affiliate links down below. And that being said, let's get right into the tutorial. So to get started, I'm going to be cutting a few pieces of cardboard, and these are going to form the core of the Thor's hammer. So the pieces of cardboard I'm cutting are 1.5 inches by 3/4 inches or 4 centimeters by 2 centimeters. And this is just regular old, cardboard stock, the stuff you find most cardboard boxes made of. And I'm going to cut out 3 pieces of those, like so. And you can use anything else you want. You can use a piece of wood or whatever you have, but I'm just using cardboard. And then next I'm going to glue these together. I'm just going to stack them up and glue them to form a rectangle. You don't have to use Gorilla Glue. That's actually the worst glue to use for this. That's all I had though. So 3 pieces stacked together, and I'm just going to glue them together nicely. I know I have 4 pieces in the picture here in the image, but I actually only ended up using 3. So once the glue has dried, I'm going to take that rectangle of cardboard that we're going to use for the core, and we're going to put it in my jig here. You don't have to use a monkey's fist jig, but I did find it a lot easier just because the rectangular shape is very awkward, and I found it a little easier using this. So I'm going to start with my gray paracord, and I'm going to start wrapping it around the sort of outside of my rectangle here, and I'm gonna do about 10 passes. Okay, so I'm gonna wrap 10 passes around the sort of length of the cardboard rectangle. So notice I am wrapping, I guess you could say, away from me. And now on the last pass, we're going to go around one more time. I'm going to push it down my jig a little bit, and now I'm going to change directions. So when I come down to the bottom here, see I've got my about 10 passes, and now what I'm going to do is I'm going to change directions. I'm going to start wrapping sort of horizontally, going around the midsection of the core. All right. So notice how I hooked it on the end of those metal rods there. And now I'm going to start wrapping again, kind of away from me, and it's going to go horizontally. And as I start wrapping this direction, I'm going to start stacking those cords from the bottom up. So I'm going to go from the bottom, from where I started, and go upwards. And I'm going to do about 5 passes going horizontally. So to get that last 5th pass on there, and there we go. So always double check at the end to make sure you have the right number of passes on both sides. So for the next step, I'm going to need to attach my FID to the end of my paracord. And now I'm going to actually remove the whole thing from the jig. It's just going to make it a little bit easier. So I'm going to take it off the jig, and now I have to start doing my passes vertically, and I'm going through the top and bottom of that inner wrapping there. Okay, so I'm going to start at the top because that's where the cord is, and make sure you hold everything together. So I use my thumb there to keep the bottom loop on. So we went through the top, now we're going to go through the bottom, and you're just going to continue again doing your passes, going through the bottom and the top. And again, you're going to do this for about 5 passes. So 5 passes for this, I guess you could say the width of the Thor's hammer. And always make sure your passes are, nice and neat. Make sure they stack nicely and that they don't cross over each other. Alright, and now just a little bit more fine tuning, just getting those passes to sit properly. You definitely do want to make sure they're not crossed. And now that we have that all wrapped up, I've taken my FID off. And the next step is just to kind of tighten up this, I guess you can call it the Thor's monkey's fist. So now I'm just going to cinch out the excess cord. I'm going to start from the very beginning, and you just want to pull that excess all the way through from one end to the other. A lot of people have trouble with this, so it's a little bit hard, but just pay attention to what you're doing really carefully, just so that you're not pulling the excess one way and then going back the other way. So I'm just going to quickly do that and go all the way through from one end of the Thor's hammer all the way to the other end. So now that I've gotten all the excess out, I can snip and singe off the excess paracord. I'm just going to clip it off with my scissors and then use my jet lighter to melt it a little bit, and then just press it down with the knurled part of my knotter's tool. So now we're going to attach the handle for the Thor's hammer, and I'm counting in 4 strands. And on the 5th one is when I'm going to take my FID with my rust paracord, and I'm going to loop that in through the sort of 5th, I guess you could say the middle pass. And that is how we're going to attach the cord to make the handle part. So get those cords nice and even on both sides, and from here we're just going to tie the snake knot. Take the cord on the left and loop it around the cord on the right. Take the cord on the right, bring it behind the left cord and through the outer kind of lobe there. And that is going to tie the single snake knot. And we're just going to tie single snake knots and stack them. So we're just going to repeat that same process of tying the single snake knot several times to form the length of your handle. And for my personal Thor's hammer here, I tied about 9 single snake knots, but that could depend on you, depending on how big or how long you want the handle to be. But I tied 9 snake knots to form my handle. So I finished up tying those snake knots, and I'm going to take my key ring and I'm going to put it through the 2 strands of paracord, and I'm going to attach it with 2 snake knots. So I've got both cords coming towards me. I'm going to take the cord on the right and loop it around everything, like so. And then from there, take the cord on the other cord, remaining cord, and loop it around behind as well. And you're going to tie a snake knot around everything. Okay, so I know that's a little unclear. The second one is always a lot more clear. So again, you see how now there's 2 cords, one on the left and one on the right. So again, take the cord on the right, loop it around the front, wrap it around everything, remaining cord behind as well, and bring it to the front. All right, you can pull that shut, and that will allow us to attach our key ring to the handle, and it'll look like it matches the rest of the handle nice and neatly. So get that knot firmed up, and we can move on from there. Next, of course, I'm just going to do the same thing. I'm going to clip off the excess paracord with my scissors, and again melt it with my jet lighter, and I'm going to press it down with the knotter's tool. So do that for both excess cords. So next we're going to add the stitching to the handle, and I'm going to go in from the top snake knot there, and basically you're just going to follow the kind of line down the center there of the snake knot. So I go in from the top, and I'm going to loop it around the first knot, like so. Try not to get it all caught up there. So from there, you can see you're just going to, you can follow it on the outside. I think that's the easiest way. So watch how the microcord follows that line of the snake knot over. Now go underneath the second knot. See if you can look at it from the side, right? So microcord goes across, and now underneath the side of that snake knot. So put that microcord through and just make sure it matches up with that line of the snake knot going down the middle. Okay. So this part might be a little bit confusing. I do have a separate video on stitching the snake knot, so I'll put that in the description box down below if this is a little bit hard to see. But now we're going to continue. See how I always end up on the right side? And then I'm going to go across and underneath. Alright, so I'm just going to continue this process of stitching the snake knot all the way down to the bottom, and what you should have should look something like this. Alright, so go through the underneath the snake knot, and again line it up with that center where the snake knot kind of forms, and when you get to the end we can just take off the fid, and we can do the other side now. So for the other side, I'm going to go in from the top this time of the snake knot, right next to that first mark there, right next to where the microcord starts. As you can see, it's kind of on the opposite side. And then from here, you're going to go in from, I guess you can say the top, and notice I'm going to make a slight mistake here. I only went under the microcord and the paracord. You actually want to go through or go underneath both strands of microcord and the paracord. So I'm going to fix it in a second here. So now I didn't go under that microcord, so now I'm going to go back under it again. Apologize for being out of frame here, but see how it forms that zigzag? That's what you want. You'll see it better in this next stitch here. So again, now watch, I'm going in from the side and I go underneath the 2 strands of microcord and the middle paracord. All right, and you'll know it's sitting right when you see it zigzag like that. So again, wrap it around, go to the side of underneath all 3 strands and push that cord through. So again, you're going to continue this stitching pattern all the way down your handle. You don't have to do it, but I think it fit really well. It made it look even more like Thor's hammer. So again, continue going underneath both strands of microcord and the paracord all the way down to the end. And when you get to the end, you could just go through the last one. Nothing too special here. Just finish it off by going through the last snake knot. And from there, all we have to do is clip off our excess microcord. So again, I'm going to follow the same process. I'm going to take my scissors. I'm just going to clip off the microcord. Again, don't cut it too close because you do need to melt it a bit, and you don't want to melt the surrounding paracord. All right, and there we have it. We are finished. So this thing turned out great. And one little thing, if you find this, the point where it joins the handle to the hammer part a little too wiggly, I just added a couple drops of super glue, and it's a bit more sturdy now. It doesn't flop around so much. So just a little thing you can do if you wish. And there we have it. There is the Thor's hammer Paracord Mjolnir. Hope you guys like this one. And so remember, guys, I do run a Patreon page to support this channel. A huge thank you to all my Patreon supporters. If you want access to the exclusive tutorials on there and to also support this channel, you guys like what I do, feel free to check out that page. Link is in the video as well as down below. All right. So that being said, hope you guys like this one. Hope you guys will make one for yourself because I love this. And see you guys in the next video. Bye.